All right, so my BlackBird hasn't checked for its update yet, but we can do it manually. All right, so there's two places that you can check for updates manually. We can go to Help right here, and there's a check for updates right there under Help, and there's a second Help. So on the chart controls here, you see a little question mark right there. So we can click on that question mark, and there's a second place that we can get to the help menu. All right, so there we go. So we can click check for update, and there we go. So there you go. So new update for BlackBird here. So here's the installed version, and here's the next version that's available here at the bottom. So all right, so what we'll do is we'll just click the yes button, and that'll open up our change log page here. All right, so if we scroll down, basically it'll provide us a list of all the enhancements and fixes for this update here. So we have a BlackBird section, and you'll see there's no Bloodhound section. We did do some minor tweaking to the heat map, just some little interface improvements, behaviors. Yeah, and that's it. So this update focuses primarily on BlackBird here. So, all right. So to get the update, there's a nice convenient little download button there. All right. So you can just use this download button, or whenever there's an update, you can always just go to our main download section on our website, right? So this download and this button they're just one and the same, just convenient places to get to it here. All right, so let's download this. And let's see. I'm just going to stick it in my downloads folder there. All right, we'll save it. And while that's saving, in the meantime, we will have to shut down NinjaTrader. So since I have BlackBird up and running, I always like to hit the flatten everything button to shut down a strategy, right? If you're ever running a strategy, it's good to hit the flatten everything button, right? It's a built-in safeguard for NinjaTrader. And now we can go and shut down NinjaTrader safely. All right, so at least for Chrome, right? So whatever browser you're working with, I'm sure you'll have a little button somewhere that you can click on your download to start the Shark Indicator installer there. All right, so there we go. Minimize that. We'll just walk through this. So just remember to check or uncheck any software that you don't have. Right, so mostly this usually applies to the bar types, right? So if you don't have these bar types, you might as well uncheck them, so that way they don't possibly interfere with some other custom bar types that you might have, right? So NinjaTrader only has so many slots for their bar types, at least in NinjaTrader 7. So NinjaTrader 8, this should not be a problem anymore. But in any case, uncheck what you don't have, and then we can continue on. Okay, so once the web page comes back up here, then we know the installer is done. So you'll see the installer always opens the kind of start learning page here, so you can choose whatever product you want to jump into. And let's see, I will go ahead and jump into BlackBird. And there, just have that ready to go. So let's see, first thing on our list is the scheduler. So we'll take a look at the scheduler first. So before you can run a strategy, so you'll notice how the strategies is grayed out, right? It's been disabled by NinjaTrader. So you can't run a strategy until you connect to a data feed. So I'm just gonna connect to my simulated data feed. All right, and so now I can pull up my strategies window. All right, there we go. And it's always a good idea that whenever a vendor updates their software, it's always a good idea to start with a clean version, just to be safe, because NinjaTrader doesn't like, or I should say, NinjaTrader doesn't handle updated add-ons very cleanly. So, it doesn't matter if it's an indicator that's been updated or a strategy. NinjaTrader just has a difficult time, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, Ninja has a difficult time with updated indicators or software. So it's always good to remove, any updated indicator from your chart, or a strategy from your chart, and just add it again, so that way you get a clean. It's kind of like a clean install of your updated software to the chart, right? It's a clean install to the chart. So there we go. So I'm just going to add BlackBird to my chart again. Just as it's just good practice for Ninja, for when you're working with NinjaTrader. All right, we'll enable it. Yeah, that's all. So nothing has been updated in the strategy window there in those parameters. All the updates to BlackBird have taken place inside of the order settings window here. So all the improvements are to the order settings window here. All right. So let's take a look at the first one here. All right. So the first one is the scheduler. It's pretty simple update to it. Really, we've just now included the name field for the time session. So, right. So if we click on the scheduler here, let's turn the scheduler on. There we go. So now when you hit the load session template, right, we can see there's a little placeholder in there. It just says select because we don't have any kind of schedule selected yet. So if I go in here, right, I can select a custom session that I've created in the past, right? Click on that, and there it is. So there is my custom time session, and let's see. Oh yeah, it's 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Let me click on something a little more practical. So there's from 10 to 12. So if I scroll up, so there's my custom little time session from 10 to 12, right? And so the improvement is that we can now see the name of the session there. So, very simple, but at the same time, pretty handy to have, I'd say. So, right, normally I think most people will just use the regular, the U.S. equities RTH session there, right? That's your standard 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. So always remember, keep an eye on your time zone, to see what your session time exactly is by matching it up with your time zone there. So, all right. So anyways, so now you can just see the name there. And so another thing, so if we go and modify it, so there's a neat little cool thing. If you modify the session, now you can see it says custom, but it's based on the U.S. equities RTH there. All right. So this modification isn't saved right? This hasn't been saved to the sessions, so therefore it doesn't actually have a name. So we just say, this is a custom session here, but it hasn't been saved back with a proper name yet. So it'll just let you know there that it's that we've taken the U.S. equities RTH and we've just kind of customized it. So this does not, when you make changes, to the times here, it doesn't modify NinjaTrader's session template. We're not modifying NinjaTrader's session template. This is just held locally within BlackBird. So these changes, these modifications are only held within BlackBird. So if you do actually want to, like, for example, if you do want to go and make your own custom time session, you'll have to do that through NinjaTrader's time session manager. So, right, you'll have to use Ninja's tool to do that. So, all right. So that's the first improvement there. All right, just having the name available. All right, so here is the next improvement is the Breakeven, the global Breakeven button. All right, so we've made changes to the order monitor panel there. So let's get that up and running. So I will have to create a quick order set first. Let me just throw something together real fast. There we go. That's all I need. So to pull up the order monitor panel, right, we need to modify our layout here. So we'll click on that. There we go. So here's the new addition. This global Breakeven button has been added. And we've also removed removed the remove button. Right. So this order monitor panel used to have an orange remove button, but we got rid of that. That's really in talking with you guys, that's really not all that functional. So just to conserve on space, we've removed that button there. So, but now you have a global Breakeven button instead of having to click a Breakeven for every order set, right? So we can see right now, we've only got one order set, so there's a Breakeven for one. There's a Breakeven button there for just order set A. But let's go back in here and let's add another order set. And so let's say, we're running 3 order sets. So let's say you got 2 profit targets and a runner. It's pretty common there to have 2 profit targets for 2 different contracts and then a runner. So now if we take a look at our order monitor panel, right, we can see there's 3 Breakeven buttons, one for each order set, right? There's C, B, and A order sets. But then, so what's been added is this global Breakeven one. So this will move all the stop losses to a Breakeven instead of having to click each order set Breakeven separately. So, and then also with this, we've added an offset. So a lot of people like to have a Breakeven plus 1 tick, right? So you can go plus 1 tick in there if you want, plus 2. You can even do a minus, right? So that would still be a 1 tick loss. It'd be a Breakeven minus 1 tick. So if your stop loss got hit, that'd be only a 1 tick loss versus the full loss. So you can modify your Breakeven by however many tick offset you wish there. Right? So most people are most people prefer to have this one tick. It's basically it's a one tick profit, right? This would be a one tick profit offset versus a one tick loss. A negative would be a one tick loss offset, right? So if you're in a short trade, a positive offset would give you a profitable stop loss, even in a short trade. All right, and so this offset, right? This offset here applies to all the break-even buttons. So if you look closely, right now these break-evens are they're grayed out and disabled because there's no trade on, right? So there is no stop loss that we can do a break-even right now because there's no trade. But actually, you know what? Let me just go ahead and throw something on there. There we go. Okay, so now we can see the break-even buttons. And you can see all the break-even buttons now have a +1 offset here, right? And let's see, let me move the market up. And we can demo this real quick. Let's get the market up. Come on, market, go up. There we go. Okay, so like if I want, I could move just order set C's break even, and I could just hit the break even now button, and we can see the stop loss for order set C move to break even +1 tick, right? And our stop loss for A and B are still down here. So if I want to get all of my stop losses up to that break even, and oh shoot, didn't want to get, well, I lost my other stop losses, but you guys get the point, right? I could just hit the break even button and all three of my stop losses would have moved up there. So okay, I think that about covers the break even there. Not that sophisticated, but very handy to have when you're trading. Excuse me. Still getting over my cold a little bit. All right, here's a big one here. We've really revamped the alerts. So we've added a whole bunch of other alert types now as well. So let's get into that. Okay, and let me just clean this up a little bit. All right, so over here in the alerts section right there. So now, right, it used to be labeled audio alerts, right, because it focused the only alert capability we had was for sound files, audio. But now it's more generalized here. All right, and so this is the default settings right here. So you will need to enable it. So, so there's a bunch of different alert types here. All right. So if you'd like to go into these in details, I'm actually working on the documentation for this right now. But let's see. So if we're at the BlackBird documentation page, what we need to go into is the management buttons here, right? The management buttons. Right. So the management buttons is, right, all the buttons here on the top. All the buttons on the top of the order settings window, right? So the order settings window here, right? All of these buttons are, they're various management type buttons here. So we go to the management buttons page, and then we can just scroll down, keep scrolling down, and there's the alerts. So, right, and there's a description of each of the alert types there, So it's not completely finished up, just a little bit more work to do, and the documentation will be complete. So, but let's just go ahead and cover it right now. So in the alerts, so the first thing is signals right here, right? The signal section. So we have entry signals and exit signals. So the signals here actually apply to the trade signals here. So if you're using a bloodhound signal, or if you're using a custom indicator that provides trade signals, right? So whenever whenever bloodhound or your custom indicator, whenever you get an entry signal, or you could also your indicator or bloodhound might also be providing exit signals as well, right? So whenever your indicator provides you some kind of entry or exit signal, that is what these are for. That's when these alerts will fire off, right? That's when these alerts will fire off. So so these alerts are slightly different than the position alerts down here. So all right, so if bloodhound gives you an entry signal, then this alert will fire off. Or if you're using an indicator and your indicator provides you an entry signal, this alert will fire off. And so the next step is to select what type of alert do you want. So, and you can choose from one of the following, right? So right now, you can only choose one alert type. So later on, we'll add the ability to add multiple alert types, right? So we can definitely see that somebody might want a sound file to play and to have an email sent or something like that, at the same time. So, or somebody might want a sound file and they might want to see a little chart symbol, a little chart marker on their chart as well. So, but let's just kind of go down them. So there's post to the alerts window, right? Post to the alerts window. So the alerts window, that's NinjaTrader's alert window. So hold on, let me close all that out so I can get back to my control center. All right, so NinjaTrader has an alerts window here. So all right, there are some people who do like to use this alerts window. All right, let's get BlackBird back open here into the alerts. So there we go. You can post to the alerts window, and you can totally customize how you want it to look. And then down here you have a message, right? So you can customize your message there. There's some variables in here that will, that automatically get replaced. So you can put the date and time in your alerts message, the instrument that it came from. So if you're running BlackBird on 3 different charts, 3 different instruments, right? You might want to know what instrument was the signal generated on, and of course the chart. The chart would be 5-minute chart, tick chart. Are you running a Renko chart, right? You might be running a range chart. So this will tell you the chart type that BlackBird is running on as well, just to kind of give you that more information in case you're running multiple BlackBirds. So, and of course, it'll give you the price and direction of the trade. So there's some variables in there, and of course you can type in, whatever you want here, right? My custom alert, right? And I can put a date and time in there, and let me put a space in between. There we go. There. So customize the message however you like there. All right. And let's see, alerts also have a priority as well. So, all right, so pretty straightforward. And, all right, so let's see, I got a question here from Heinz while I'm on the alerts. So let me just pause for a moment here. So the question is it a possibility to create your own alert sound? Yes, absolutely. Here, and I'll get to the sound alerts here in just a moment. So, yeah, so let me just run down the alerts and we'll get down to the sound one down there at the bottom, Heinz. All right, see, next alert is a chart message. You guys have probably seen that BlackBird will give you some feedback. It'll pop up a little message here, right in the same area where the shark indicator logo is. Right, BlackBird will pop up little messages to you on the chart there, and so if you'd like, you can create your own custom message that shows up on the chart if you'd like to do so. Right. Here. So normally BlackBird does not put up a message whenever it takes a trade on the chart. Usually it's some kind of a warning message to the user when BlackBird is not able to take a trade for some various reason. That by default, that's the messages that BlackBird puts on the chart. But if you like BlackBird to also put your entry signals or your exits on the chart as well, well, there you go. Here's what the chart message option would do for you. All right, the next is a log message. Right, so log messages, again, go back to the control center. All right, so I'm going to have to close this out again. So right there, the log tab. So that the log tab, these are your log messages there. So you could send a message to the log tab if that's what you like to use. Okay, so again, log message, pretty simple. You can describe, what the log tab there has 4 different levels of, message information, message severity. So you can set whatever one you like to see to catch your eye. For more information on this, you'd have to look into Ninja's documentation because again, this is right. The log tab is a NinjaTrader function. And again, you can write your own custom message in there. Right. Of course, none if you don't want any message there. A chart symbol. So chart symbols, are the little chart. Actually, you see my little toolbar on the side of my chart, right? The little toolbar. So you see all these little markers here. You got the square, the circle or dot, the diamond, down arrow, up triangle, down triangle, right? We have these little markers there. And so you can select whichever little marker there that NinjaTrader has available to it. Right, so those are all the built-in NinjaTrader markers there. All right. So, and of course you can select a custom color for that as well. So you got long chart markers, short chart markers. Right, you can see by default we've got the triangle up and the triangle down. So, and there's also a you can specify a limit as well, a maximum number of displayed symbols. I really recommend that you don't set this too high, otherwise it will bog down the NinjaTrader chart. So NinjaTrader can only handle so many symbols. You may have noticed if you get an indicator that's just dumping a ton of symbols on your chart, it does actually slow down the graphic display of the chart. So, it's another one of those subtle kind of limitations with NinjaTrader's chart there. So, so we put the ability to kind of limit that so that way your chart doesn't get overloaded, right? So, I would say it's totally safe to knock this up to 256. That's actually kind of what NinjaTrader likes to default to. So, but of course, it all depends on your computer. How powerful is your video card and your processor. Which really kind of determines when your NinjaTrader might start to kind of slow down with too many chart markers there. So, right. So chart symbols. There we go. Email. There you go. So now you can send an email. Right, of course, you'll have to put your pretty much usually the from email address is almost always the same as the to email address. Most people send themselves an email, so the from and to is quite often one and the same there. And of course, you can create a subject line for your email, and then you can put a message in the body of your email again. So this email again is a NinjaTrader function, so you must get the email functionality in NinjaTrader working first. All right, so that is one thing that we don't support. Sometimes it can really get difficult in getting the email capabilities in NinjaTrader to work properly, but NinjaTrader can help you guys get that working if you want to start using email. So, the difficulty in getting emails working is this is actually one of the cases where it's not NinjaTrader's fault. The reason why getting emails working, and here I'll just show you where to go here. So if you go to Tools and you go to Options, so from the Control Center, you want to go to Tools, Options, and then all the way at the end, the Miscellaneous tab. This is where you set up the email system for NinjaTrader, right? You have to put in your email server, your username, your password, set the ports up. You've got all this stuff, and nowadays, email services like Gmail, Hotmail, all the other email services out there, the public ones, Yahoo, they all have spam protection built in. And so that's why it's really difficult to get the emails set up in NinjaTrader nowadays, because you have to do a bunch of setup with your actual account with your email provider. So that way, for example, Gmail, you have to go into your Gmail account and essentially enable or allow your Gmail account to accept emails coming from NinjaTrader, right? A third-party company, right? And that's just to prevent, all these spammers out there from abusing Gmail's email servers. And of course, Hotmail does the same thing, and so does Yahoo, and everybody has the same kind of spam protection. But once you get NinjaTrader's email system set up and working, then you won't have any problems after that. So if you do have trouble getting this, getting this test to work here, getting your email testing to work, contact NinjaTrader. They'll try and help you, with your email service provider. So get this set up first, and then the BlackBird emails will start working there. So, and I can tell you that this is the same process for every NinjaTrader partner who may offer email capabilities within their indicators. It's the same thing. You got to get Ninja's email email setup working first. Okay, and the last one, sounds. So this is what most people are going to want, is to play sound. And simply enough, you just go in here. So for a long trade, right, if you want a custom sound for a long trade, just go in there, open it up, and you can see this is going to default to the NinjaTrader 7 sounds folder here, right? So there you go. We have included a couple of sounds here, and I'll get to them in a moment. But but in any case, if you guys are using custom sound files, this folder here is really the proper, well, I should say the designated place, that NinjaTrader is designated to put your sound files into. But of course, you can put them in anywhere. You can put your custom sound files anywhere. I mean, if you want, of course, you could put your custom sound files back in your, where is it? Here we go, Documents. So we can go to Documents, and there's our NinjaTrader 7 folder. And of course, you could put your sound files in here in your Documents NinjaTrader 7 folder as well. It doesn't matter, right? You can put your sound files anywhere you want. So anyways, and that's all you gotta do is just select your two different sound files. One for long, one for short. That's that. So and so there's all the different type of alerts available to you. So right, so so the signals have all those alert types. These position also have those alert types as well. And then there's a miscellaneous error or warning. So okay, so let me just kind of cover the signal types here. So right, entry signals. So again, if your bloodhound or your indicator provides an entry signal to BlackBird, then that's when this alert would play. Exit signals, right? You could set up BlackBird, you could set up Bloodhound to provide an exit signal to BlackBird, or your custom indicator that you're using could tell you when it's time to exit a trade. So whenever that happens, you could set an alert for when exit signals occur. Right? Again, if we're using an indicator, right, there's exit signals available right here. Coming from your indicator, or Bloodhound. So in Bloodhound, you can enable exit signals. So you can select a template that would generate exit signals to close out a trade from Bloodhound as well. Right. So that's what the exit signals is there. So, okay. Next one, profitable moves. So when you're stop loss, when you're, everybody knows that iconic sound when your NinjaTrader ATM moves your stop loss for you, right? So if you've created an ATM that has a trailing stop loss, everybody knows that iconic cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching sound, right? A very lovely sound to hear when you're trading. So we have also incorporated same type of audio feedback for BlackBird. Um, but with BlackBird, we've added like 3 different movement sizes, right? So there's a small, medium, and large. Um, so like if your stop loss is moving just a couple of ticks or two, just inching along, right? You can define a sound that just tells you, oh, there's just a very subtle move in my stop loss. If your stop loss makes a bigger move, like say like 5 ticks, somewhere in that ballpark. So a medium movement would be approximately around 5 ticks. So if your stop loss makes a nice big 5 tick jump, then you can select a different sound. And then if your stop loss makes a huge move, like say 10 ticks at a time, then you can get this a different sound for that. And we've actually included, you can see there's a small coin sound, a medium coin sound, and then a large coin sound. All right, so just a little audio feedback telling you how much your stop loss is moving, or kind of in the ballpark there. All right, let's move down to the position section here. So, active position. It's one thing to get an entry signal, right? So an entry signal basically says, okay, put my trades on. But that doesn't mean you have an active trade, because let's say for example you're using a limit order and you're setting your limit order for like a 5-tick pullback. Right? So we have a limit order with a 5-tick pullback. Well, having your limit order out there is not a position yet, right? It's just an order waiting to get you in the market. And once your limit order gets picked up, then you have an active position, right? So an active position means that you have a live active trade open in the market, right? So that's the difference between an active position versus an entry signal. Now, of course, if you're just submitting a market order, right, you're going to get an immediate active position. But if you're placing limit orders or stop orders, then you have to wait for the market to pick up your order before it becomes an active open position. All right. So entry signals will put an order out there, but it's not an actual position. It's just an order waiting to open a position in the market. So that's what active position is. Of course, and then if you go flat, right? So you can set an alert when your whole position is flattened out. So whatever flattens your position out. So it could be your profit targets are hit, and that will flatten out your position. You might even get an exit signal. If you get an exit signal, that exit signals are designed to flatten your whole position out. That's the whole purpose of an exit signal. So whatever causes your position to flatten out, that is what will trigger this flat position alert here. And the last one is errors or warnings. So already by default, BlackBird will give you will display a message on the chart telling you various reasons why BlackBird was not able to place a trade, such as maybe one of your money management rules has been met, and so therefore BlackBird can't trade anymore during the day. Right, that'd be a most common one right there. So so if your money management rules are hit, right, BlackBird would give you a warning, and so you can create a custom alert type there for yourself, just letting you know that that for some reason BlackBird is not trading anymore. So All right, so that is the alerts section there. Let me see if there's any questions. All right, does not look like there's any questions on this anymore. So, all right, let's take a look and see what the next item is. Let me close out the alerts window. All right, so we have added the money management watermark stop loss statistic to the account override performance. So, all right, so here's the big thing. The watermark stop loss statistics to the override account performance window and the performance panel here. So, all right, just a sec here. Let me. Let's see. All right, I've got a question here. Let's see. Provider for creating own sounds. Heinz, I'm not sure what you're asking. Let's see. If you're asking, do we have a provider for creating custom sounds? No, we're not. We're not a company that sells sounds, sound files. So there's tons of websites out there that will sell you custom sounds that you can go. You can just do a Google search, looking for custom sounds, if that's what you're wanting. But no, we don't have any providers for that. So yeah, I don't think NinjaTrader does either. Yeah. Also, just keep in mind, your sound files have to be compatible with NinjaTrader, right? So it's NinjaTrader's, sound playing capability that plays the sound. So so make sure that your sound files are compatible with NinjaTrader as well. Okay. So, all right, yeah, so let's get back to this watermark stop loss statistics here that we've included. So, for a little background here, under money management, right? Hopefully you guys are familiar with the daily watermark. Right, so you can set up a watermark money management capability, right? And so the one thing that's missing is knowing where is that watermark, right? So by default, we can see the watermark. The watermark will take a percentage of your it'll take a percentage of your profits. So let me get back here. There we go, 50%. So, the default setting is that the watermark will trail your highest profits, and it'll track 50% of your highest profits earned for the day. And then if your losses, if you start taking losses, and you start losing half of the money that you made, or 50% of the money you made, right? That's what the watermark does, is right. It'll turn off. But the thing is, you would want to know, where is my 50% watermark at currently? So you're not having to try and track that in your head. So now, So now, here we go. So now you can see the high watermark right there. Right, so there's the high watermark. So right now the high watermark is $140. Right, so I did actually take a trade. We've taken one kind of example trade there. And so we made $140 on that one trade. So our high watermark is currently up $140. So you can see your watermark, your high watermark there. And if you want to see what your watermark stop loss is, then we've added that to one of the chart panels here. So if we go down to performance, let's turn on the performance here. So now under performance, we've added some more statistical data here. So we can see our high watermark is at $140, but our high watermark stop is at $70, right? So $70 is 50% of the $140 watermark. Okay, so if we look at our money management here, let's take a look at our money management. Right, we set the stop, the high watermark stop, at 50%. Right, 50% there. So there we go. The high watermark stop is at $70. So if our total net profit for the day drops down to $70, then that will tell BlackBird, stop trading, right? Let's protect the profits that we made, and we'll just stop trading for the day. So, but anyway, so here's the new feature. You can now actually see what your watermark stop value, account value is at right there. So that's what's been added there. And also, if for some reason your high watermark got skewed because you were doing some discretionary trading, you might have skewed, your net profit for the day or something like that, or maybe you turned BlackBird on late, and you kind of missed a trade. You could calculate, how much profit or loss you might have earned during that missed trade. And so in the account override, you can go in here and you can adjust your high watermark. And so let's say, we missed a trade and we could have made an extra $60. So that would have put our high watermark up to $200. And of course, to keep things correct, we should adjust our net profit as well. So I can go in there and I can manually update this performance information here. And there we go. And now we can see that the high watermark has been updated and the watermark stop has been updated to now $100. So there we go. I added a few things. So and we've also just kind of enhanced we've enhanced some of the feedback information here as well. So, like for example, average losers and the average win versus average loss, right? So instead of just saying 0 and 0, we've kind of added some actual written, language kind of feedback. So you can see it just says no losers, and there's no losers, so you can't calculate the average win versus average loss. So because there's no losers yet. So it's just some nice feedback there instead of just kind of dumping some zeros in there, which are kind of meaningless, to the average person. So, and of course, profit factor. Can't create a profit factor yet because there's no losers. So, and actually, oops, no, that's actually incorrect. Sorry about that, guys. Our profit factor is 100%. One winner, no losers. That's 100% profit factor. Okay. Anyways, we'll get that updated there. Um, let's see. All right, what's the next one here? So, all right. So the watermark stop loss statistic feedback there, pretty simple. Um, and all right, so here's a big one. We've improved the price versus indicator condition in the trailing actions, right? So inside trailing actions in the trigger on area, we've improved the price versus indicator section here. So let's dive into that here. So let's open up our stop loss. Let's go into the trailing actions, and let's turn on some custom trailing rules. Okay, there we go. So the trigger on section here, right? So we have this price versus indicator, right? So the original inception is, you could compare. One simple way of using this is you could compare. Is price currently above a moving average or below a moving average, right? Because if you're in a long trade, and let's say price moves underneath one of your moving averages that you like to use, well, right, that could be a clue or indicative that maybe the trend's over. Maybe the run's over, and so you might want to tighten your stop loss, or you might want to pull your profit target down or something, right? It might be a clue that you might want to start moving your stop losses or profit targets around or something like that in preparation for the trend to kind of reverse on you. So, right, so that's originally how the price versus indicator worked, but we quickly realized that people actually wanted to compare an indicator to an indicator. So, actually, so we kind of have, it says indicator A, indicator B, but this is more like input A, input B. And so we can still see it's still set up for price because it says the closing price for A, and B here is our indicator. So, but you can go in here, so we can go into indicator A, and if we want, we can use an indicator value. So we can compare an indicator, to an indicator. So whatever, we could compare our SMA to an EMA, or look, whatever indicator you want to compare it to. So maybe we could use the DM indicator. So maybe we want to compare the minus DI to, and we can go in here. We'll select the DM indicator again, and maybe we want to compare the plus DI plot to the minus DI plot, and we can do that there. All right, so there we go. So we're using the DM indicator in A and B, and we can compare the DI plus plot to the DI minus plot. Do some kind of indicator to indicator comparison. So that's what we've added here. We've made the this kind of comparison a little more universal. So now it can actually become indicator versus indicator type of a comparison. So so there we go. That's kind of the simple explanation for that improvement. Let's see here. All right, so we've added a new OCO entry price type. So a entry price type. So now we have two entry price type. So we have a average entry price type, and now we actually have an OCO entry price type. So let me pull something up here. All right, so let's say we want to adjust our profit target based on the entry price. Well, if you have two OCO sets, it's possible that you could get two different entry prices, right? Each OCO set could have a different entry price. So for example, let me set my limit order to a 10 tick offset, right? So order set A, my limit entry is at -5 ticks. This limit order is at -10 ticks, right? So that's going to be two different entry prices that I'm going to get into there, right? So that would create two different, actually that would create three different entry prices, right? There's the entry price for order set A, then there's the entry price for this limit order for B, and then there's the average of those two. So that's three different entry prices. So now we have the ability to select what entry price we want to use, right? So for my profit target, I'm going to set my profit target 10 ticks above. So for my initial placement, I'm going to set my profit target 10 ticks above the OCO entry price, right? So this OCO is going to be the entry price of this limit order, right? For OCOB, this entry price, right? So it's not going to be A. It will not be the entry price for A. It's going to be the entry price for B, right? So that's the OCO entry price. But then there's also an average entry price. So if I use the average entry price, then what that does is, right, that takes the entry price for A and the entry price for B, and it calculates what is my average, right? So my average entry price is going to be actually the closing price minus 7.5 ticks, right? So -5 and -10, the average of those is 7.5. So that would be, right, that would be my profit target would be the average entry price for A and B, right? So there we go. So now you have two different entry prices that you can select from. So it just gives you more flexibility in controlling where your profit targets are going to go. So, all right, and let's see what else. Let's see. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that pretty much does it. It's really just kind of that simple there. So so just a quick summary, the OCO entry price, that's the actual entry price, for this particular order set. And then the average entry price would be, whatever orders have been filled. So if you're using limit orders to get in, whatever orders have filled, it's going to be the average entry price of all your fills. So, all right. So obviously, if I make a third order set here, and let's just say this one's a market order. So C is going to get fired off immediately, and then A and B are limit orders. Those have to get picked up, right? Price is going to have to do a little pullback. So you can see that, right? We're going to have 3 different entry prices, and we can get those averaged all out. So we can get an average of all 3 entry prices, and so that's what this average would be. This average would be the average of all 3 order sets, A, B, and C order set. So, all right. But by default, your profit target and your stop loss, by default, they're going to use the OCO order set there. So, all right. I think that does it for that one. Let's find the next enhancement here. Let's see. Oh yeah, just display improvements added to the performance panel. Yeah, I had mentioned that already. So yeah, we just kind of did some, back end, just kind of enhancements to the feedback now. So like one simple example, all the average trade and average win, it's locked into dollar amounts, rounded to 2. Right, currencies only go out 2 digits, so we just kind of clean that up, some rounding and some nice, again, average loser. There is no average loser, so we just we instead of saying 0, which would be kind of incorrect, we put no loser there, or instead of actually NA. So programming language would like to put NA there because there is no average loser, but yeah, we just kind of put a easier to understand text in. So all right, yeah, here's a big one. So we've added a new automatic order type. So here's another big improvement. All right, so the 2 big improvements is the new alerts feature, and this automatic order type. So let's open this up and let's close all this out. Okay, so if you're going to do a market entry, that just dumps you in the market. So there's no automatic order type necessary when you're using a market, right? That's a guaranteed you're going to get filled immediately. But if you are using a limit order, if you're using a limit order, let's see. Yeah, if you're using a limit order with, say, an indicator. So let's back up here. Let's say you have a custom indicator here, and let me see if I actually have one. No, actually no, I know I don't. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to just throw something here just to make sense here. Trying to find the plot I want to use here for the Murray math indicator. Let's see, 0.8. There we go. I think I want to use number 4 here in my example. All right. So basically, oh wait, actually, sorry about that. Hold on. Never mind. Ignore the trade signal there. Just ignore that. That was It's kind of going off on a tangent here. So let's say we're placing a limit order, and we want to place that limit order based on an indicator plot. So let's say we're going to use an indicator to pick the price at which we want our limit order placed. So this is actually the correct place. I need to go use my Murray math indicator here. So, right, so this Murray math indicator is kind of a poor example, but I don't actually have a trade signal indicator that's going to work. That's going to demonstrate exactly what I want to show you, but I'll use this for example. All right, so let's see, major support resistance. All right, so I told BlackBird place a limit order at this Murray math plot price here, right? And let's get the Murray math indicator on the chart so we can actually see where it would go. Let's see, all right, yeah, let's calculate from hourly. And let's see, major support number 4. I'm going to beef this up so it's really obvious. And I'll make it white there. And let's make it solid. There we go. Oh, excellent. Look at that. There it is. So there is our plot here from the Murray math indicator. And let's see here. Just a moment here. I need to finish setting up my indicator. So I need to turn pivot hourly, set that to true. There we go. Okay. All right, so I've set BlackBird up to place a limit order on this Murray math plot, right? So I'm using an indicator to determine where I want to get into the market. And there are some indicators out there. So for example, we're still in works with partnering with Indicator Warehouse and some of their indicators. They want to make some of their indicators compatible with Bloodhound and BlackBird. And so that's why this new feature here, Enable Automatic Order Type, came about. So, but let me just kind of demonstrate what can happen if you're not using this automatic order type and you're using an indicator to set the price for your limit order, right? That could create some problems. And let's demonstrate here. So let me just throw on a quick profit target and stop loss. All right. So right now, the market is below that line. So if I go long, what happens? If I go long, boom, I just get filled instantly, right? Because hopefully you saw that entry order was above the market. So let me pull the market down again. Let me pull the market down. Okay. So if I go long, watch, you'll see the limit, the entry order sits right on our indicator plot here, right? It's going to sit right on our indicator plot right in here. And it's going to get filled immediately, right? Because we put a limit order above the market. So, all right, so the exchange fills your limit order immediately. Right? And that may not be what you want. Now, if we went short is fine, right? Because for a short trade, placing a limit order above the market for a short trade, that's fine. Your limit order is going to sit there and wait for the market to pull back and fill you. So for a short trade, this this price, right? This price from the indicator works fine, but of course, right, it doesn't work when you're going long. You're just going to get filled immediately, right? So let's go in here, and now if we're using an indicator, if we enable the automatic order type, BlackBird will decide whether that order type should be a stop entry or a limit entry. So BlackBird will automatically decide for you the correct order type to use. All right, so now let's go long. And now you can see it actually placed a stop entry. So the market will have to pull up to fill that stop entry there. And if I close it out, if I go short, it is now a limit order. And let's, not that one. Let's see here. And see, oh yeah, it says working. All right, let's see here. Trying to find the right place so we can actually see. There we go. We'll have to go to our orders tab. And, oops. All right, there we go. So with the orders tab open, let's all right, I need to get the market. Up. Maybe pull the market above. Come on, get up there. All right, so if I go long, we can see BlackBird placed a limit order, right? We have a limit order waiting there, right? A buy limit order is working there. So if I close that out and if I go short, now we can see a stop order has been placed to go short. A stop order has been placed there, waiting for the market to go down to fill that stop order. Right. So yeah, so pretty simple concept here. Let's open this up again. Right, so enabling the automatic order type just allows BlackBird to select between a stop or a limit order, based on the price that your indicator returns, right? So really, again, this enable automatic order type, its practical use is with an indicator, when you're using an indicator, right? So, and that's because you never know whether your indicator is going to, tell you to get into a trade above the market or below the market. So you don't know you don't know ahead of time if you should be using a limit or a stop. So, and one of indicator warehouses does have that behavior. So so there you go. So therefore there's the need for this automatic order type there. So all right, and we can see that there's right, clearly there's no market order available when you're using an automatic order type, right? Because obviously market orders don't apply to this situation. So okay, yeah, if you want, you could also use a stop limit with a limit order. So you can have a stop market or a stop limit for your entry there. So, all right, yeah, so there you go. There's the big one. All right, let's move down here. Let's see, where were we? Automatic word types. And let's see. All right. Yeah, the rest of these are actually just, some some corrected issues, or some further improvements. Some further improvements to various components of BlackBird there. So, yeah. So there you go. That covers all the added features and enhancements. So, and the rest are just kind of fixing some issues or improving some functionality in BlackBird. So, okay, guys. Yeah. So that does it. That wraps up the updates. And yeah. All right. And so I hope to see you guys tomorrow for the Bloodhound workshop.